Hello and happy Tuesday. Melanie here with Christian Craft Paper, and today we are digging into our latest holiday drop. This one I know that you guys have been waiting for, and we'll go ahead and open it up. So you've got your scripture sprinkle card in there. You've got your sucker in there, of course, and then you've got 12 eggs to craft with. So these are, I love these eggs. They're a matte egg. They do have the hole at the top. You could string them if you wanted to do that. I've just been working around them. You could also decoupage. You don't have to use transfers on these. You could decoupage them as well. We're going to be demonstrating the transfers today. I might be doing some painting. We'll see how much time we have. I grabbed a whole bunch of stuff here. You're also going to get the little stand here. Let me hold that over here so you can see it. That will help hold your egg while you work on it. And then you also have the precision transfer tool. So I'm going to put this aside because I do have a kit I've already been working on over here. So I'm going to keep working on it, but I'm going to show you some of the ones that I did before. So this is one of the first ones that I did before I figured out how to actually do them. And it does have a teeny bit of wrinkling in here. I'm going to show you how we don't do that. So this one has two of the watercolor ones on it. Then this one has the lilies with the tulips rotated on there. So that's another idea to do 4 on each one. And so that's why when you see the design, and you don't have to do them this way, but just color wise, that's why we put these in together. Like this could be the front and back of the egg, and that could be the sides if you wanted, but you don't have to. Again, front and back and the sides. We may design it different next year. This is my first time, so we'll see. So here's one right here. So you can see like these go together. So I did the cross and then the cross, and then you have the butterflies here. This is another one I did with the lilies and the cross on the back. And then I did the little lamb on the front. And one last one I'll show you, and then we'll get crafting. This one I did the cross with the roses. And then I actually put the roses over the top to cover that hole. So that's one of the ways I covered the hole. Another way is I did this bow on here. If the hole doesn't bother you, you could just fill it with like Elmer's glue too. For me, it doesn't bother me, but if it does bother you, those are some ideas. Okay, so I've got the rest of my eggs here. I'm gonna grab a couple more of these. Now you can paint these eggs if you wanted to paint them first and then do the transfers. I don't think I'm gonna have time for that today, but you can totally do that. I'm gonna move this over here. Okay, so I have a set of transfers already over here that I've been working with. So I'm just going to keep working with these rather than cutting up new ones. And basically the first thing that you'll want to do, so I have this one here that's all 4. I can use that. Is you're going to want to cut out the ones that you want to use. And the reason I say the smaller scissors, just for me, these were easier to work with. Because the situation here is we're going to have to manipulate this a little bit. Now you don't have to use the egg stand. It's just kind of nice because it doesn't roll away when you put it in there. So for this one, I am going to cut it a little bit closer than I normally do. And then let me bring this in closer. There we go. Because the trick is going to be we're working on a round surface. So if you just try to put this on here, it's going to not want to do what we need it to do. So what I found is if you pick a line, and when we're doing the crosses, kind of move this a little bit closer that you can see, you're going to want to cut, just follow that line. So find a line that you can cut, because basically what we're trying to do is give it some room to bend and move the way that it wants to. So we're going to cut that. That's not normally how we do it, but since we're working with this round object, we're focusing on getting the transfer down straight, and then we're going to work a little bit at a time, because what's going to happen is this is going to overlap this a little bit, that's going to overlap that a teeny bit. It's all going to look fine, but if we don't give it that opportunity to bend, it's going to fight you. So we're going to go ahead and take the back off after we've cut it. Now the egg has seams, so keep that in mind as you're putting it on there, because that first one I did, I'm trying to think which one was the first one. It's like crooked on the seams, and I was so irritated with myself because I didn't realize that it had seams till I already stuck it on there. All right, so keep in mind how far from the top and the bottom that you want it on there. So I'm just going to place it right on here. So what I have found with these is you don't really need the transfer tool for the eggs. We're going to use the transfer tool for some of the other things I grabbed here. But the eggs, I have found it sticks so well. I'm going to say that and then it's going to give me issues. Just pushing it on, because it really wants to grab that egg. You can see it's already just coming right off here. Like these work so great with these eggs, but you can see how this part is up. That's good. That's what we want. Also, you can put some pressure on these, but the eggs will, like, you could put your finger all the way through there if they want. They're not super delicate, but I wouldn't be like pushing super hard. Like, treat it like you would if it was an actual egg and you should be fine. Okay, so we've got pretty much the top here. Again, if it's not ready to come off, it's not ready to come off. So we don't want to do it too much. Yeah, and so there. See how it's just lifted up on its own? That means it's ready. Okay. So then I'm going to lift this part up so it's out of the way, and then I'm going to just keep rubbing the other part because it's going to overlay that cross just the tiniest bit. And if you have a spot like that where it's like, okay, it kind of wants to buckle a little bit, I'm going to come up. I'm just going to cut it a little bit there so that it has what it needs. And I just found working from the center out, just a section at a time. Is this part coming up? Okay, that part's coming up. So I'm going to pull that part out of the way so I can get this other piece down. All right, and there we go. So you can see that's probably the best one that I've done. So again, the key is take the little scissors, snip it, because you can see like the flower just goes over the cross a little bit, but we just needed to give it some room to bend. And let me see, I don't know how well this camera's focusing, so let me go back to this one and I'll show you this way. So I did that one pretty good. There's no wrinkles on it. Oh my gosh, so cute. Okay. We'll go ahead and do the back side so you guys can see it again. And I will pick another one. Oh, where's the rest of that one that I had? Oh, it's right here. All right, so if we do that one again, oh, this one had lilies for the side. So we could do the lilies. I'll do the cross again because I really think that's the one that you guys might have a little struggle with. Because again, it's different than how we did it on all of the flat surfaces because we're using this round egg type surface. All right, let me get these out of the way. I really kind of just use the stand for placement, which is super helpful because I did not have the stand when I very first tried this and I was getting irritated with my eggs rolling all over the place. All right, again, so we're going to cut under here, right under the cross. And we're going to turn and cut the other side under the cross. And since we already know we're going to have a little issue at this part down here, I'm just going to go ahead and cut it right now. So I'm literally just kind of cutting around the cross. Again, these ones, excuse me, you're going to want to be patient with. This is not I'm going to make a ton of these really quick. I mean, some of you might, but it's more of a project you're going to want to be patient with. All right, so again, we've got it tacked on there. We're going to go top to bottom first. And I always just liked doing the top first, but I'm just going to pick one side and work right there where it's, so top to bottom, and then we're going to go middle out. And I'm just rubbing with my fingers. I think what also helps with this is sometimes when the transfer is not doing as well, you just need a little bit of heat. And I think the heat from like rubbing your hands on it. All right, that side's completely coming up. You can tell it's coming up because it's like completely lifting. I'm not actually, for these, I'm not really pulling it off at all unless it starts to like, it doesn't want, like that one was getting a little sticky, but for the most part, it should just kind of come off on its own. So again, we're going to lift this part out of the way just a little bit so we can get, this one is going to go, we're going to kind of rub up a little bit. Same with the other side, just kind of take that little piece out of the way because we don't want it sticking to the piece. We want it sticking to the egg. And rub up. All right, and then we just have our last little piece there. All right, now I do have a little wrinkly there. It just means I didn't get it pushed down enough. So I just put the plastic over it so my finger doesn't tear it off. So if you look and you see any little wrinkles, you can just put the plastic over it and just use it like we would saran wrap or anything else. And then there you go. So it literally looks like they're painted on there. It's so pretty. All right, and I'll show it this way. So pretty. I have, Megan was giving me all kinds of display ideas for these. So what do you guys think? Do you think this is too hard? Do you think you got this? I know a bunch of you have already ordered. Like, are you intimidated? The first time I did it when I didn't know what I was doing, I was scared for a minute. Now that I've kind of figured out a system, it's really not that hard. It's just one that you're going to want to be patient with these. You're not going to, you know, they're eggs. You're going to have to be patient. They're a little bit delicate. Okay, so this one, again, I'm just going to cut out what it is that I'm looking for. And again, if you feel like it's going to give you issues, just come around and just cut the parts where you think it's going to need you to give a little bit. So I'm going to take this same one. We'll see if we can fit this lily in here. I think that's going to be too big. All right, I'm just going to pick a different one because I think that lily is going to be too big on that egg. All right. I'm just getting an idea of where I want to put it. Okay, Pam's excited. She's ready. She's got this. I love it. So we'll do this egg, and then I'll show you a couple other projects. I got a stack of stuff over here, and then I'll come back and do more eggs. Okay, so again, we're just going to do from the center down, and we'll get the leaf first here. Looks like the leaf is already stuck. The stem was one. Okay, so you can see how when it's ready, like that just starts peeling right up like that. And then again, center up and then work out. So you're kind of just working one section at a time. I have one little spot right where I cut it. Okay, it's stuck on the top. All right, so that part was, I cut into the actual design a little bit. And so it was, there we go. It was sticking to the other side of where I cut. So here's one of just the lily. And you could take the lilies if you wanted to, and you know, we could put another lily like right up next to this, make like a little bouquet. I guess both the leaves are going the same direction. Let's do one of the lambs. Okay, so we've got the lily on the one side. I was making sure I got my seams on it. And then let's do this little lamb we have here. So this one's a little more of a wider one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down in here in between the flower that's here and the lamb, because I'm basically giving it some spots to break, like for the transfer to bend a little bit. Same thing. I'm going to come in over here around his head and make some. And I think that'll be good. All right. So Debbie says, oh, let me go back here. I tried to add this. Debbie says these would look wonderful in the tier tray she made for our tables at church. Yes, Debbie. Megan was just, that's kind of what she showed me. She said, she's all, go online and look at tablescapes and different ways to display them. I have one of those like really long bread bowl baskets, and I have some beads rubbing through it and some lamb's ear, and I'm going to stick them in there when I get off here. I'm going to take a picture of them in there. But yes, tier trays, adorable. All right, so we're going to stick our little lammy on there. Again, we're going from the top to the bottom first because that is kind of the smoothest surface. So we're working top to bottom first. And you can see this part is wanting to stick up. So can you see how it's like sticking up? That's fine. We're just going to let it do that because we're not working that section yet. That's why we're working sections at a time. So we kind of want to give it those areas to bend while we get these sections down. If you try to work it as one whole graphic, it's just going to fight you. It's not going to work. I mean, maybe you can get it to work, but I think that's how I got the all the wrinkles in those first ones. Sharon says, how cute. Cindy says she can't wait to get hers. Oh, Pam's going to use her doll bowl. I love it. Okay, so we've got the head down. Head looks good. Now we've got these two side pieces. This one's going to be the more difficult because it's larger and it's all one graphic. So let's do the easy one first. So we're going to get this out of the way because it's going to want to kind of come in closer than it originally was. So we'll just work that section first. All right, and that, thought it wanted to come up. All right, so we've got that whole half off right now. All that's left is this bigger section. And now we've got a little bit of room. So I can tell that it wants to buckle a little bit here. So I don't know if you can see, but it has like, it's pulling a little bit in that area, and that's fine. These bigger graphics are a little bit more tricky, but I'm just going to kind of pull it all out, like push it where I want it, like adjust it, you know, and then I'm going to push it down. Now let me show you because I'm going to try something to see if we can get this bottom wrinkle free. All right, so we've got that down, but we still have this section here. So what we can do, because basically it doesn't want to go around that way. So we can literally take this, and don't worry that you're cutting into the design. It's fine. But we're trying to give it some room to overlap. So I'm going to cut that half. So now I've just got this little tip here. So I'm going to do that part, and I'm going to let it stick. And then when it comes up, then I'm going to come down, and I'm going to work the other one towards where that first one was. And all it's going to do is it's going to allow those two pieces to overlap. And then we don't have wrinkles. I still have one little spot that doesn't want to come off. There we go. Okay. So I do see like a little tiniest wrinkle there. So I'm just going to come in and rework that. It's from when I pulled it off. Yeah, so any spots that you have a little bit, just come in and rework it. But you can tell like this part right here is actually overlapped a little bit, but you can't tell because it just blends right into the what you have going on with the design. Pam also has a wagon centerpiece. Oh, that would be cute with bunnies and eggs. Love that idea. Linda has ostrich eggs and porcelain eggs. Oh, I knew someone had the bigger eggs that she's painted on or transfers on. So I'll make some of these to display with them and use as just because gifts for those who volunteer at church. I love that, Linda. That is a great idea. Yeah, if you have bigger eggs, obviously it would be easier to work on them, but these are totally doable. You guys, if I can do them, anyone can do them because we know I'm not the craftiest. Okay, so that's our little lamb and lily one. Now, what I will say, when I first made these, and I was telling the members this, the members got a sneak peek a couple weeks ago. In my vision, when I was creating these, I thought it would be amazing to use the verses on the eggs. I would not even recommend that. If you're super brave, you could probably get them on there. I would cut them one line at a time and I would work them over this way, but then they're not going to be straight because you're working a line on a bended thing. And so I just abort that idea. But if you are so brave and want to try it, go ahead. But that's what they were for. But I've got some other things here. So we've done a couple eggs. Let's show you how some other things that we have. Now I have these glass jars that I got. Costco had some mousse last year. They had this chocolate mousse. It was amazing. I can't even tell you how many of these chocolate mousse things that I purchased. A lot. Okay, I have dozens and dozens of these. And they are the perfect size for these little ones. So I'm going to take some of these other designs and let's do something else besides an egg for a second. I've got a few little things I want to just show you really quickly besides eggs. So for those of you that are just getting the transfers, if you don't want to do eggs, I just want to show you that they'll work on other things. So again, check for your seams, but this is just a glass transfer. Again, the glass does have a bend to it. So what we can do, and here, this is a good tip too, if you're in the middle of doing it and it starts doing that to you, like it starts to do that buckle thing where you're going to get a wrinkle, just go in there with your little scissors and like nip it so it has some space to bend. And so see, once we do that, then we can put it on there. And then once you have the one side, you can come up with the other side and let it go the way that it wants to go. It just wants to overlap is what it wants to do. And this is a full design, so we can do that easily. Oops, I got one little spot, wasn't quite stuck there. So there we go. And then just push it down towards that spot where it was so it matches up. So this is very similar to the eggs, but then you've got the cutest little tea light. I was like, I went and found one. Hold on. I had to search all over my house for like my little, you could put a little candle in there. You could use it for a little vase. Adorable. I mean, you could use these for juice glasses or something, but you would need to seal it. Make sure you would seal it with the dishwasher safe Mod Podge if you want to go like any type of drinkware or washware. Debbie's excited. Okay, so there's another idea. I'm going to do that one last. I wanted to show you just other surfaces that'll go on. So this is just some of that textured paper that I got off of Amazon that I've used for card making. I did another one of these earlier. I just kind of tested it. Well, I did this one. I'll show you. So again, it's just a little piece of cardstock. You could use this for a bookmark. You could put one of the verses on the back if you wanted. Like maybe let's do that since I already did the front. Let's try one of the verses. So we got to find one that's going to fit on the back here. John 3:16. Let's do it. This would just be a cute little note for a gift. Again, I was thinking about just using it for a bookmark because it's nice and thick. But I just want to show you that it'll work on paper too. Because you are going to have leftover transfers. There's a ton of transfers. I think when I counted them, there's 60 transfers on there. So you get 60 transfers. You've got 12 eggs if you get the kit. And again, since these are matte eggs, the transfers go really well on them. Like they just go on there like butter. You just kind of have to work them with your... Oh, this is my transfer tool. Like you guys can tell, I use my transfer tool for like everything. It's got like, that one's really jammed up with glue and all the things. Now, whenever we're doing the lettering, I do like to use this one because the lettering always gets a little tricky. And I will tell you, this soft paper can get a little tricky. So I don't know why I decided to use soft paper to show you. Because watch, I won't be able to get it off. I know I tried the soft paper last week, and was it last week I did, and it was a catastrophe. Why do I pick such a long verse? So again, this is where the transfer tool comes in handy, because you really want to get down and get all those letters so that you don't miss any letters. Don't ask me why I picked one that was so long. I don't know. I just thought it would be good to use John 3:16. So are you already crafting for Easter? Are you still crafting for Valentine's? Are you doing both? We just barely took our tree down this weekend. So I've got all of the Christmas put away, but my tier tray is naked. I think it has like 2 pieces of greenery and the beads that I leave up like all year long. And that's it. There's nothing in it. There's one tiny little live poinsettia that my father-in-law gave me for Christmas that keeps trying to die like every other day because the pot is so small. I don't think I can keep enough water in it to keep it alive. Like it dries out really fast, and then I forget that it's real because it has glitter all over it. And then I'm like, oh no. And my son keeps telling me it's dead, Mom. I'm like, no, it's not. Watch. Last night I brought it back to life again. Oh. I swear we just get into one season, and I had to be ready for Easter right away, but for you all, but my decorating, I'm behind. We were late getting our Christmas up this year too. All right, I survived. We did it. Okay, so here it is on this little piece of textured soft paper. Again, you want to make sure that whatever paper you're using has to have like a grippy flat surface. Like this super soft, like not finished. If you have paper like that, it won't stick to it very much. You'll have a hard time. Oh, my little H is coming up there. Okay, so if that happens to you, like my little H was coming up, just go in there and give it another rub there. But that worked pretty good. So again, this could be like a little gift mark. Like Linda says, it could be like a great little gift for volunteers. So fun. So that's another idea. I wanted to show you just, again, different surfaces that we can use. This is just one of the things that we got. Oh, one of the pieces of wood we got when I ordered the wood for all y'all for the ornament kits, and it just came in super small. So I thought it was adorable, and I was like, I'm keeping that one. Also, if anyone else would have got it in a kit, they might not have liked it. Demi's in love. Paula says she has a light pencil tree that she decorates for each season. The eggs are going to be perfect. I just need to figure out how to hang them. Yeah, I think what you could do, you know what? Let me get this down, and I have an idea, Paula, because I think you could just use like this. This red is not good, but I have a pink, or even a jute. I don't know, is a jute more like this? Whatever this millimeter is, like this is what you want, and I have an idea. I think we could do it, and I think we could do it using the transfer tool. All right, so with the wood slices, you want to make sure your slice is dust free. All right. I'm going to leave Paula's comment up there. Now this one also has like a little crack. That's another reason why I was like, oh, maybe not everyone would like this. So with this one, what I can choose to do is just, I'm going to cover the crack. I'm going to line it my cross right up with that crack, because we're just going to blend it right in there. So again, this is one that's a good idea to use the transfer tool. Just make sure before we're lifting that it's down. What I do like about working with the eggs is you can tell when it's ready to like come off, because your stuff starts curling up. And I really liked that in working with them, because some of these I get impatient and then I take it off too soon. All right, so there we go. Now this is bigger. You could use it as a coaster. This is just going to probably just stand up in my little tier tray, but that's another idea. Okay, so let's go back to Paula's idea with hanging them. So I'm just going to take like a little snippet here, and I think this will work. I think that if we, again, you might have to adjust for whatever twine you have. I think if we tie a knot in there, right? And then we have our egg. And I don't know if this is going to work. We probably almost need something more pokey. And we might need to use a thinner string. Oh, does this? Let's see if this works. This is our easy beater. Basically what you might need a pencil. I need something strong to like poke it in here. But this is what I'm thinking you should be able to do. Now watch me break my egg. All right, this rope might not, this is too thick. We need it like half this. All right, so what we're gonna do, ta-da! We're gonna have less. We might find out this is too small and we need more. I don't know. Well, we're playing it by ear here. Now my string is getting a little short because I did. All right, let me get one that I didn't. That one got frayed and it's hard to work with once it's frayed. This one got frayed too. All right, bringing in the spit. I'm not giving up on this, Paula. I think we can do it. Okay. Might want it a little longer. All right, this is a much smaller hole. Okay. So now we're gonna need something. Of course, my pencil is like not sharp. I don't know, maybe we don't want it sharp. This looks like it's the right size to fit in here. Okay, I got it halfway in there. What'd I do with my beater? Yep, there we go. Oh. Okay, we need 2 knots. Hopefully everybody laughed at me with that. Or the other option is we could have just glued it. I probably should have just glued it. Okay, let's try it again, but we've got the right idea. It's funny because when I was talking to egg manufacturers, everyone had the ones with the strings, and I didn't want the ones with the strings because I know not everyone would like the strings. So I had to find a manufacturer that had them without the strings, but that they could still add the strings if they wanted to. And so that's what we got. There we go. Haha, success. Let me just switch the camera so that you can see. Totally doable, Paula. So this is just one strand of that regular jute that we always use. Yeah, exactly. Pam says put a dot of glue in it to hold it so it wouldn't come out for sure. So there you go. If you want to string them, you can string them. Love that you brought that idea up. Okay, what else do I have here? All right, I've got a canvas gift tag. We used to have these on the site. We're out of them. This is just a few that are left. And I'm going to use for that one, whenever you're working with the fabric, I do recommend use something that's a solid design. It's so much easier. Paula's like, woohoo! I love it. Use one of the solid designs because any of these that have the outer line, you can do, but it's just a lot of rubbing. I think Linda's done a bunch of the bags. She can tell you, like, it takes a lot of rubbing whenever you have lines or words or any of those things. So this is actually a little bit small for this. I guess they're all about the same size. I feel like it's going to need something else. I'm actually going to leave some room at the bottom. Maybe I'll put a different transfer from another set. I don't want to do the words right here on this live. It'll take too long and you guys will get bored of watching me rub forever. But whenever you're doing canvas, you really have to get in there, okay? Because you're having to work the transfer. Let me go back to where you can see. You're having to work the transfer into each of the little grooves of it. And so, because it has to have enough surface to stick. So if you have a design that is where this whole part is the design, it makes it a little bit easier, but it still is a little bit of it's still going to be work, okay? So I don't want you to think that, yes, they can work on fabric, but it is going to take some elbow grease is what I generally tell people. And part of that depends on how much texture your fabric actually has. And the tricky part is this one has like lots of little pieces hanging off, like little sprouts hanging off the edge. And you have to get it to start releasing somewhere. Now for fabric that's going to be washed or handled a lot, I would seal it. There is a fabric Mod Podge if you don't mind. It's a softer. It dries a little softer, more flexible. If you don't have that, you can use regular Mod Podge and just go over where the design is. So this one's actually coming off quite nice. Hopefully I won't jinx myself by saying that. But it is because it's a mostly one design with like little trendles or whatever going off of the different little flowers and such. And I'll do it this way so that you can see. I never know how well that camera does. Like it looks blurry to me, but it could just be my contacts being funky. Okay, so that's on fabric. I am going to turn my glue gun on real quick here because I have the cutest little pot I want to do. All right, hopefully you all are getting some ideas. Here's a coaster. Ooh. Now the coasters you could paint as well before. When I'm not using, like doing the intricate cuts, I do actually like my bigger scissors to cut these out. So I'm kind of thinking, I was like, that one almost fits exactly, but okay, I think I'm going to be doing this one. I'm just going to kind of lay out first and see. Now here, this is all connected as one design, but if you don't want to use it as one design, you just cut what you want to use. Well, that kind of looks cool also together. I didn't mean to do that, but I kind of like that. All right, switching plans. See, sometimes stuff just happens. That one actually has this one too. And if we didn't have that, we could cut these out separately and put them together this way too. But that just kind of happened and I love it. So with this hexagon, this is a porcelain coaster. And so again, you could paint this if you wanted a solid color. Just make sure it's something that the black would show up on. You could also decoupage it first and then put the transfer on top of it. So I'm going to take it off. Just make sure you don't want to touch anywhere where the design is. And I am just trying to figure out. My hands started cramping. All right, so I just kind of lined this up with these edges. And for the coasters, you are going to want to seal them if you're using them for coasters. If you're using them just to display, like in your tier tray, you don't have to worry about it. But if you're going to use it as a coaster, you do want to seal it. I use an engine spray. It's just a clear coat engine spray. It doesn't matter what brand or anything you use. You just want to make sure that it's rated for up to 500 degrees. And what that's going to do is help protect your graphic from any condensation that may occur. Also heat transfer from if you're putting a hot mug on it. You're not going to have the design stick to the bottom of your mug and come off. Also, if you're reselling, do make sure that you are sealing for durability so that those who purchase your items can enjoy them as long as possible. Someone had asked on one of our Facebook tutorials too about the sealing on paper. I don't generally seal on paper. You can, but I generally don't. Those types of things aren't handled as much, and they're usually handled delicately. Now the bookmark, I probably would, because that's going to be handled more, but just like a card, I wouldn't seal it. But again, if you're reselling, you might. Okay, again, we're just going slow with the letters. I don't want to lose any of my letters of the verses. Letters are always the trickiest. Letters and fabric is like super hard. All right, so here we have our coaster. And I'll switch it to this one so that you can see. I think it's backwards on the, oh no, it's not. Perfect. Okay, and then the last little project that I wanted to show you is I snag these little plants from IKEA. They come in a 4-pack, and I thought these would be so cute to put them on here. Linda said these would be so pretty on that wooden pendant that came with last month's kit. Yes, yes, so cute. That's a great idea. I know, like anything you get in your kit, you're going to use it eventually, even if you don't use it that much. Like, you'll use it eventually. Okay, so let's see what I've got left over here. I kind of wanted to do one of these cute little lambs because I just thought it would be so cute. So I'm going to cut out my other little lamb here. Now for this, so when you get, if you get these IKEA pots or whatever, or any type of pots, you could probably get these at the dollar store. Like, I haven't been lately, but they have like this fake, like plastic looking whatever at the top. We're going to fill that in. I'll show you how. But for right now, I'm just going to put my little lammy on here. And I think this would just be a cute little desk topper. Like, I'm going to probably put it over here by my computer, and you don't have to water it. So that's convenient. I can't kill it. All right, and this is just plastic. So you just kind of figure out where you want the front of your plant, if that matters to you. It doesn't have a seal, it looks like, so we're pretty much good anywhere. And the only part you have to worry about is just trying to get it on there straight. So I'm going to put him on there. Again, we're working something round, so top to bottom first. And then this, since this is a pretty even round, we can just go out, work it out to the sides. Again, this is very similar to working with the eggs, except not as bendy. I have nails now, so I can use the nail, but. All right, so just make sure you get like his ear and everything down before it starts curling up, because we just want to make sure all that's stuck. And then we just go around and we work the other side. And then I was talking to Megan and I was like, what am I going to put in the top of this thing? Because I usually will put like crinkle or I cannot find brown moss. I'm only able to find this. There you go. How cute is that? Adorable. But we're not done. I can only find this. You guys, I've looked on Amazon. I've looked at Michael's. I've looked everywhere. I can only find this green moss. I want the brown. So if anyone's seen like the moss that's this color, will you let me know? Because all I can find is green, and ugh, I'm not liking it. But my son has this giant 40-gallon fish tank that he has been saving and buying things for and putting it together. We don't need fish yet, but he got rocks for Christmas, and they're sitting out here by my office, and I just cut a hole in the bag. I was like, these little rocks will be perfect for the top of my thing. And I had my glue gun on. You saw I had my glue gun on, and it's not working. But what we're going to do is, because my glue gun isn't working, well, it's still heating up. But basically what I'm going to do, oh, you wouldn't even have to glue them in. You could just set them in. But I was going to glue them in, but it looks like with this little lid, I'm going to have to. That's what I would do so that it looks more real. So let me switch cameras here. Oh no, I have it so that you can see. So I just I was going to glue them, but like I said, my glue gun is not hot and I don't want you all to wait. So I just kind of stacked the little rocks in there, and then you have a cute little desk topper. So that's another idea. Love it, love it. Oh, I also had this little wood. This is just another little wood gift tag. And this one, actually, I'm just seeing this. Looks good together. Ladies, this is so many projects. Again, it's 60 different graphics in the one set. So even if you just get the transfers, it's 60 graphics. Ooh, this is my, I need to throw that one away. That one's no good. And it's got too much glue on it from me using it for glue. Again, you could paint this first. These big tags I like, they could be a gift tag. They could be a bookmark. This would be a small card. This one would fit on like a small card. All right, when it comes to the letters, I'm going back in with the small end. I just want to make sure that I get them all. So this is just, what is this, really thin wood that you could use? Oh, Debbie has a great idea. This could be used in a tier tray as well. It totally could. You could put this at the end of like a beaded, like a string of beads. Because that's what it has on mine. Mine has a thing at the end that says blessed. That'd be a great idea. That'd be a hot seller too, I would think. That's an awesome idea, Debbie. Okay, I'll do one more egg for anyone that joined later so that you can see how to do the eggs. So again, the eggs have a seam and then they have the hole at the top. So you just want to make sure you keep that in mind as you're deciding where to place your transfer. Let's do, I don't think we've done one of these ones yet. I'm going to do one of these ones here that have that. These are outlines. So let's just do this purple one. All right. So I need my, what do I do? I need my small scissors because we're going to come in here. All right. So when you're doing the egg, we want to cut right underneath the graphic on both sides of the cross so that it has some bend. And then I'm also going to cut right above here because this butterfly is like not connected so that this part has some bend too, because it doesn't really matter where that butterfly ends up. I just don't want it wrinkly. All right, so we've got our cuts in there. We're going to take it off. Make sure we don't touch anything, any part of the design. And we're going to start top to bottom because again, this one has straight lines. So we definitely don't want any wrinkles in there. So we're going to start from the top, and I went really high on that. So it is what it is. But I'm going to show you a way that we can cover the hole. Let's do this one. We'll do, I think I have 2 of these, and then I'll show you how we can do the hole. Okay. So top to bottom first, because I want to get my lines all straight. I'm not doing anything with those sides yet. Okay. Just right now, only the top is stuck. Let me switch to this view so you can see better. Okay, now I'm going to move it around and I'm going to do the bottom. I'm not really worried about that butterfly yet. I'm just going to start working the bottom. So I'm just working that section. I can see it lifting. Yep, it popped right up. So that means that part's done. Then I'm going to do this section here. So I still haven't done the sides of my cross yet. That's fine. I'm going to do the little butterfly. I've got that on there. So all of the only thing that is not done right now are the sides. So now I'm going to come in and do one side. Paula says she's putting that tag in her Easter tree. I love it. Okay, so we did the one side there. So this one I did really close to the top. So as an idea, there's a couple of things that we can do. We can do another one on the other side. We also have these florals that match the purple. Like this is all the same purple. So I'm going to grab one of those because I did this on another one to cover the hole. So this one, I'm not quite sure where I need to cut it. So I'm going to go ahead and place it first and then I'm going to cut it. Again, this is why I love the little stand. So I kind of want to see, do I want the flowers? I think I kind of want the flowers to come down over the front, like this is going to be the front. So I'm just going to place it over the top. And now I'm going to cut in here and cut where it's going to need to bend. Okay, and then I'm going to do just one section at a time. Now the way that I did it, it is laying over the cross. So if you didn't like that, you can kind of do it a different way if you want. I'm going to come in here because right here it's trying to go to, so I'm just going to give it a little nip. Basically, I'm just giving it whatever it needs to lay flat. And my top is coming up, that's fine, because we're only working one section at a time. All right, coming back over, and I'm going to go down. So again, I'm only picking one section at a time to work, because if I've got the rest of these down, then they should start popping up. That one little piece didn't want to stick. There we go. So see how the rest of that just popped back up? So now all I have left is this little part here. So then I'm going to work that down. So for a full egg, I probably would have done another one of these on the back. It's just like the littlest leaves that don't want to go. There we go. So now you can see that that covered up the hole. And then that's what it looks like for the full egg. So again, I probably would have dropped the cross down a little bit so that it kind of hit maybe like right here and then down. So now that we have the top on, or you could do the top first too, that would be another idea. But let's go ahead and do one on the bottom so you can kind of see what a better layout would look. All right, so we're going to take the same, this is the same cross that's on the front. I'm going to come in and do under the cross so it has some bend. And I'm going to do that diagonal right where the butterfly is so that it can separate if it needs to. Okay, so since I've already done the front, and I know I didn't like how high that was, and this is the back, now I can kind of adjust where I want that to sit. And we can see if this is a better layout or not. All right, again, top to bottom. Following the straight lines. Then I'm going to work this flower first here at the bottom. That came off really easy. I'm going to get the butterfly. That was also on its own little section there. All right, and then I'm going to do the sides of my cross. So again, I just pick one side and just work it out. And then I'll do the other side. And that's how you're going to get straight lines. Because this is all where it's trying to give. All right, so we can see it's just completely coming off. And there we go. So that's like a better spacing, I feel, like with the flowers at the top and the egg, or the flowers at the top and the top of the cross there. And again, if you get done and you see any like little things like, you know, I'm like super picky, then just go through and you can smooth them out. Just make sure that you have, I would use the plastic, like hold the plastic still and then rework that spot. So those are all of our projects. And I still have, you guys, I've made all of these things and I still have all, oops, I pulled that one off of the paper. I still have all of these transfers to make things with. And in my kit, wherever I did with it, I think I still have some eggs. So we only have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 eggs here. So there's still 3 eggs left. So again, they go on glass. These are plastic. They go on wood. This is another version of wood. We've got this on porcelain. We've got this on paper. And then we've made our little eggs. We showed how to put the little string in there. This is one twine of jute. We knotted it twice so that you can hang it. We've got all the different ones here. We have done front and back. This one has it over the top again. We've got this one front and back. You can mix and match your patterns. This one we did front, back, and sides with the tulips and the lilies. This one is front, back, and sides with the cross and the butterflies up the side. And then this one here has the cross and one of the lambs. And then I just glued a bow at the top for that one. So what do you think? Think you can do it? I think you guys can. These are so fun. Basically my thought for this was, oh, we also did the little potted plant. Don't forget my little potted plant here. We did, oops. We did the little lamb of God on there and just put some rocks in the top. And that's plastic. So my thought kind of was, my son doesn't even do Easter eggs anymore. And I love doing Easter eggs, but I'm not a fan of dyeing and I'm not a fan of dye because the dye is just a mess. It's a mess to get cleaned up. It's a mess everywhere. I don't like making it. The vinegar stinks. And I was like, I want to do Easter eggs. So really I created this for me to do. This is for adult Easter eggs is what I'm calling them. No, but the kit is called, this is the Holy Season of Hope. So again, they come in the kit where you get the full 12 eggs. You get the set of transfers, 3 sheets of 6 by 12. There's 60 graphics in this. You get the egg stand so that your egg doesn't roll around while you're trying to place it. And you get the transfer tool so you have that when you work on other projects if you're not putting them on the eggs. For the eggs, I really would just use your hands because the warmth really helps. But that is the egg maker kit. So these are available to members now in the group. And Debbie, I know I need to get you the link when I get off here. And they're available in the kit, like we did the ornament makers kits, or the transfers are available by themselves. And you get the 3 sheets of all the transfers. You can order both. You can order them together, all the things. But again, they're available to members now. If you're not a member, don't worry. We will have them available for you. Whatever is left is going to be available Thursday at 10 a.m. Check your email. We'll also be sharing on social media. We'll put it in all the groups, all the other groups. Yeah, so I'm super excited. I can't wait to see what you all do with them because I know whatever I come up with, you all come up with like way better ideas and take them all kinds of crazy places and inspire everyone. And that's kind of my favorite part. So that's it for today. I will be back next week. I don't know what I'm going to be playing with next week. I'll probably be playing with this month's members transfers. There is still openings to the club. I think the link is on here, but we have 4 different clubs. So if you're like, I don't want to wait, I want the Easter ones now because I'm worried about them selling out, you could join one of our clubs today and we'll get you in the group. We'll get you access to the link and then you don't have to wait because I do know the ornament maker kits, we actually had sold out by that Saturday. Again, I did order more because I didn't want that to happen again. And we're a long ways to Easter. And I do feel like these are going to be another hit because they're just so gorgeous. If you could see them in person, I can't tell you how long I searched to find a manufacturer that made the beautiful matte eggs that looked exactly like eggs. They're so great to work with. And the transfer just goes right to them like they were meant to be. So I'm really picky about my eggs, both in real life and my crafting eggs. So It's not going to be, even if you got our eggs last year, if you've got eggs this year in the last month or so, those are the same eggs because we did have some on the site. But if you got last year's eggs, these are different and they're so much better. Okay, so Debbie and Paula, I will get off here and I will send you the link. I'll tag you in the group because it is just available to members so that you can get them. But that's it for today. And so until next time, happy crafting.